KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A 3-year-old girl has been missing for over a month, and authorities say she's in immediate danger. What you can do to help the Bexar County Sheriff's Office to find her before it's too late.
If you're not here, if you don't smell it, if you don't hear it, it's hard to really understand the impact.
Decades of health issues on San Antonio's south side are finally in the spotlight. We'll take you on a toxic tour with neighbors and leaders who share their stories and show what's at stake for the community.
And it is a warm start to your weekend. Much like the last couple of days, there's going to be some spotty rain out there this weekend, but generally hot and humid. And then we're talking about a Texas cool front in August. Yep, you heard that right. Details soon.
Good morning. It's 9:01, 77 degrees, feeling just the teeniest bit cooler on our August 23rd morning.
A little behind the scenes for our folks at home. Our breaks have changed a little bit in the commercial breaks. Before we had kids, we would talk about who knows what. Now we only talk about wine, types of wine. Now we only talk about our kids, our little babies during the break.
Hey, is your baby doing this? She eating this? When did she start doing this? It's crazy.
Yeah.
New moms.
Yes, but
moms,
we're happy you're joining us this morning.
Yeah.
If you're out in Del Rio and Eagle Pass, you're getting some rain this morning.
Good morning, Eagle Pass.
Good morning. Yes, you've got family in Eagle Pass, don't you, Sarah?
Sure do.
The pollen count shows that molds are high at 1,200. That's down a little bit from yesterday, but still fairly elevated. And here's the authority radar with the rain. You can see a few downpours right now for Del Rio, Eagle Pass. Brackettville got a good dose of rainfall earlier this morning. You'll also notice that it's quiet here in San Antonio. Again, I think our rain is really going to be limited to 20% chance, 20% coverage. Spotty rain from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow. Mostly it's going to be a weekend where you can get outside and enjoy things without the risk and worry for rain. Otherwise, though, it is going to be hot. Now, what I want to show you now is the next big thing that we're watching. Take a look at your screens. This is Tuesday, and a rare August cool front going to be moving through Texas. In parts of North Texas, the high will only be in the 70s or even in the 60s in the Panhandle. Unfortunately, this cool air is not really going to reach us in San Antonio, but it is going to provide the opportunity for higher rain chances this week. I'll have those details and when we usually see our first cool front in San Antonio coming up in just a bit. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. New this morning, a man is in critical condition after being hit by a car overnight. Police say this happened on the city's northwest side just before 3 o'clock this morning. The man was crossing Bandera Road near Kentucky Avenue when he was struck. The driver did not stop and drove away. That man was sent to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. As of right now, the man has not been identified, and that driver police are still looking for. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding this little girl on your screen right now, who they say hasn't been seen in more than a month. That's 3-year-old Aurora Borosquez. Child Protective Services says it hasn't had contact with her or her mother, Amber Hevelin, since July 7th. Earlier this week, CPS went to Hevelin's home on Oldham Road to remove Aurora from her mother's custody. When they showed up, neither were there. So they put out an Amber Alert for Aurora. CPS warned Bexar County deputies that Aurora is in immediate danger. Her mother is believed to be driving a white Dodge Caravan. If you see either Aurora or the mother, these two on your screen here, you can call that number at the bottom of your screen. That's 210-335-6000. A 67-year-old man was arrested after allegedly attacking someone with a machete. So according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, deputies were called out to a far west side home after reports of a suspect wielding a machete. However, the suspect and victim, they ran off before deputies arrived the next day. Deputies found the victim covered in multiple cuts and needed about 30 stitches. He did tell the officers he wanted to press charges. So the man you're seeing on your screen here is Jorge Gonzalez Lopez. He was identified by a bystander video, and deputies then searched Lopez's home, found clothing covered in blood. Lopez admitted to throwing away the machete after the attack and was arrested and booked into the Bexar County Jail, where he's facing charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and tampering with evidence. In our Know My Neighborhood series, we're taking a closer look at the health challenges facing residents south of Highway 90. For years, people on the south side have raised concerns about the air quality and chemical contamination in their community. So this morning, you'll see these issues from a new angle. A tour bus. Neighbors invited city and county officials to experience firsthand the problems they've been dealing with for years. Our Avery Everett and photojournalist Azian Bermia joined in on the ride.
Welcome to the south side.
If you're not here, if you don't smell it, if you don't hear it, it's hard to really understand the impact. Tours in general became a tool used to say, we exist, we're feeling this, we're all sick, this is what's across our street, this is what's across our fence line, and we think there's a connection there.
All right, welcome aboard.
We're here to speak our lived experience and share with you what we are living with in 2025.
Our neighborhood has been surrounded by industrial activity for years.
Here we go, another great example.
We've got cancer, asthma, and other chronic issues.
About 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Last year, I was diagnosed with skin cancer. I've gone through a lot, but I'm not here to ask for help. The reason I am here is so we can all work together.
We're hoping that the people that were on the bus just learn, and hopefully it'll impact their future decisions.
There is so much happening here, so many different layers of inequity. I'm committed to being a partner and solving the solution.
What comes next?
It's not only what we saw, what we smelled, what we heard, it's the things that we're not seeing, the socioeconomic pieces, the poverty rates, the closing of schools.
By opening that door and bringing them to our neighborhood, people out there making decisions, they've heard our voices.
So the group is demanding a halt to toxic dumping on the south side. While it's tough to sum up decades of history in just a short story, we've put together a detailed look on KSAT.com. There you'll find the history near Kelly Air Force Base and learn about potential impact of diesel-powered generators coming soon to the south side. All right, this morning, mental health resources across the San Antonio area coming together for Pathways for Hope. It's a conference focused on helping young people in town with their mental health. Devin Karp is live at the Tobin Center. Lots of people there this morning. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, Sarah. Yeah, it's been 10 years of Pathways to Hope over here. Now, they have different focuses throughout the Friday and the Saturday that they're doing this. But right now, here on Saturday is the focus for youth. Kiddos, preteens, teens, you name it, there are resources here. I'm here with one of the organizers, Michelle. I know you've been running around this morning making everything happen, huh?
Yes, it's been busy, but we're getting ready and settled for everybody to come in.
Nice. I know you guys open up the doors officially. You got so many resources here. First off, what is Pathways to Hope for anybody who doesn't know at home?
So Pathways to Hope is a conference that we do to collect kind of all the mental health resources that we have around San Antonio. So it's a one-stop shop, essentially, for any of your mental health needs, just to get plugged in with the community and all the different supports that you have for your mental health.
That's fantastic. I feel like one thing I've kind of learned from this is talking with some of the people who walk through here. There's a lot that exists in San Antonio that people don't know about.
Yes, we're very much a hub for social workers. We have so many colleges that have wonderful programs. So, and I was a case manager in Houston, which it was a lot harder to get resources here. Here in San Antonio, we have just a wonderful wealth of it. And so we really want people to come and know the wealth that we have here in San Antonio and really use those resources so we can be a leading city in mental health for the community.
Fantastic. And I know today is so important about hearing from like teens and helping out teens. That includes Dev over here, who's getting ready to speak later today. Good morning, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. What about you?
Doing good, doing good. So tell me a little bit more about what you're going to be talking about today. First off, why is mental health and having that conversation out in the open so important to you?
I think mental health is a topic that is so variable today in society. A lot of people see it as a disability or an illness, when instead it's just what we're feeling. So I think what Pathways to Hope does is it brings the aspect of communication and collaboration to our community. And I think that's one of the most important things for helping us with mental health.
Awesome. Fantastic. How you feeling before speaking? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like I say, I'm ready to start telling people and advocating for mental health. So
I love the hype. I love the hype. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here with me this morning. I appreciate it. All right, this is going to be happening today until 3 o'clock over here at the Tobin Center. It's all free, too. So all you got to do is walk in the doors and you'll get taken care of. I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News. Sending it back to you, Sarah.
Devin, thank you so much. It's 9:10, 80 degrees. Check your Bluebell cartons in your freezer because they're recalling some of their ice cream that was sold across multiple states because if you have a nut allergy, you are at risk. Which products to watch out for and what to do with them if you have them at home. One woman's flu-like illness turned out to be a rare disease that sent her to the hospital for weeks. What she was diagnosed with and how you can keep yourself and your family safe.
Alrighty, it is Saturday. Happy weekend, everyone. We're starting off fairly quiet. There's a small chance for rain, but generally a good weekend to go out there. Now, later on this week, there's a Texas cool front. I'll have those details coming up.
In your health headlines, one woman is recovering from a rare disease that doctors originally thought was the flu. So this is Dana Clark here. She actually had typhus and it sent her to the hospital for 3 weeks and it took her 3 months to recover from it. So she got it from a flea bite, which she got while she was gardening. So symptoms can include fever, digestive issues, and confusion. It's treated with antibiotics, but can be deadly for older adults, especially in Dana's case, if you were misdiagnosed for so long. This year, about 550 people in Texas have been diagnosed, a high number, especially since the year isn't over yet. And according to a doctor with University Health, experts warn to be careful in areas where there are possums, because those are the ones that can carry the typhus. Alone, just at University Health's facilities, they let me know that 170 people just this year at their facilities alone have been diagnosed with typhus. So this is a public health reminder to look out for those symptoms. All right, check your Bluebell cartons in your freezer because they are recalling its Millennium Crunch ice cream, half gallons that were incorrectly packaged in chocolate chip cookie dough cartons. So the recall is due to undeclared almonds, walnuts, or pecans, which can cause serious allergic reactions with people with nut allergies. The recall affects half gallons with that code at the bottom of your screen there, so customers who bought the product can return it for a full refund. So far, no illnesses have been reported.
All right, good information there, Sarah. You know, we're starting off our day in San Antonio quiet and humid, not quite as humid as the last couple of days. You can kind of feel that. It feels a little bit better outside.
Slight degree, you know.
Right.
You feel every bit of when it's not as humid or triple digits outside.
Absolutely, but there is some rain for some of our viewers all the way out in Del Rio and in Eagle Pass. Starting off your weekend with some rain toward the border there. Del Rio right now, just some light rain. There are some flashes of lightning though near Eagle Pass, but that rain is exiting. You can see heading toward the mountains of Mexico, seeing that rain exit and after the next hour or so, it should be fairly quiet, but there has been some productive rain in these areas which are experiencing drought. Take a look at the rainfall around Eagle Pass. You can see that in some neighborhoods near Eagle Pass, there has been about an inch of rainfall early this morning. It's been dry though around San Antonio, and it will likely stay dry for the majority of people, but there is an off chance, 20% for a stray shower or storm between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. You can see that here on the future cast there. For the most part, though, again, it is going to mainly just be a quiet and warm weekend for us. A little on the hot side, too. Take a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Mostly sunny. By noon, it'll be 87. You'll start to notice a few more puffy cumulus clouds in the afternoon, as we'll see that small 20% chance for a stray shower. 96 for the high in San Antonio, but because our friends out to the west are starting with a little bit bit of rain. High temperatures near Del Rio and Eagle Pass are only going to be in the low 90s. Speaking of low 90s, that's what it'll be in Comfort, Kerrville, Bernie, and Helotes. 96 though in New Braunfels, Seguin, 96 in Floresville. Good morning, Pleasanton. You'll be at 96 degrees this afternoon too. So toasty for us here in Texas. It'll be 109 in Phoenix, so not quite that hot. But then look up to the north in Canada. Temperatures are only going to be in the 60s today. And that cooler Canadian air is going to really be the focus of our forecasts in Texas this week, because we've got a cool front forming, and this low pressure system is going to pull that colder air and sag it south into North Texas. There's that cool Canadian air. It's not often that we see fronts go into North Texas in August, but that is likely the case this week. In fact, on Tuesday, take a look at high temperatures. Could only be in the 70s in Dallas and in Tyler, Texas. Could only be in the 60s in the Panhandle. I hate to say this though, that cooler air is really not going to make it to San Antonio, but doesn't mean we're not going to be affected by the cool front. What do I mean? I think this front could spark some downpours Tuesday night and Wednesday. First developing up north in North Texas, but then working its way down to San Antonio. So again, just like last week, not a guarantee for rain, but the chance for rain is there. About 30 to 40% coverage Tuesday night, and Wednesday. All right, I want to talk about when we usually see our first cold front of the season. I know this is a bit of a busy graphic, but stick with me here. We're defining our first cold front as a low under 65, so nice crisp morning, with a high under 90 and a dew point under 60, meaning it's dry. And you can see that there's been some variation in the last several years. Most of that has happened in September, but there have been a few fronts that occur in October for the first time. On average, we see our first cool front with those definitions by September 24th. So as we approach September, know that that crisp, cool fall air is just around the corner at some point. Looking ahead to our forecast, high temperatures near 100 degrees the next couple of days. Then Tuesday night and Wednesday, chance for rain as highs dip down into the low 90s. So we talked about our first cool front, usually when we see it, but it's also Atlantic hurricane season. I've got my sights set on the Gulf and the Caribbean by early September. Details in the next half hour. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Welcome back. It's 9:26, 80 degrees. Coming up, the San Antonio Spurs chief legal officer and general counsel shares how he got to where he is today, plus why he made certain career decisions. Still ahead on GMSA, hot topic, what San Antonio thinks about spending bond money, that is public funds, on a new Spurs arena. Break that down for you next. Good. It's 9:30 on your Saturday morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Sarah, throughout the summer, I do iced coffee.
Oh, yeah?
You have to do iced coffee.
I do hot coffee, but that's just because I'm a bit of a coffee snob.
I love hot coffee.
Yeah?
But I wish it was in hot coffee season, because it's just for me personally, it's too hot outside.
Well, this week, if you take a trip up toward Dallas, you might be in hot coffee season.
I'll drive to Dallas.
They could get a front.
Hot coffee.
They could get a
Which
front
is
this
crazy.
week.
I'm very jealous of Dallas.
It is. But that front is going to impact our weather. We could have some additional rain chances here in San Antonio. But today, it's all about that heat. Right now, it's already 80 degrees in San Antonio, 77 in Seguin, 81 in Floresville, 80 in Castroville and Canyon Lake. Good morning. You're at 78 degrees this morning. We have an east-northeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. That'll keep it from being too humid out there. Anytime we get a northeast-east wind this time of year, generally we're not going to be seeing very high dew points. The dew points right now in the upper 60s, near 70 degrees. There is some rain for our friends out near Del Rio and Eagle Pass. You can see though that rain is starting to exit. It's quiet in San Antonio, and today will mainly just be hot. We'll have some spotty downpours between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., but the chance is only 20%. A Texas cool front, as we were just talking about, is going to be moving through North Texas this week. It will increase our rain chances Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll talk about that, and I want to talk about the tropics. We're going to be looking way out into the future. We're talking a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, when there could be potential Gulf development in early September. I'll tell you what we know coming up in a bit. Sarah?
Sarah, thank you. New this morning, U.S. park rangers at San Antonio Mission's National Historic Park are asking the community for help after vandals caused significant damage at Mission Concepcion. So take a look at this picture. It was posted on their Instagram. It happened overnight between August 20th and 21st. Now, suspects forced their way into Convento by throwing large boulders through the wooden door. You can see that serious damage to the door and the surrounding structure. The vandals also stole monitoring devices that help track the moisture levels inside the historic building. This is not good because it can put the preservation of the site at risk. It's made with a certain type of material that, because the humidity here in San Antonio, they need to track that with the AC, the modern AC system. So this is super important. If you have any information, you can call or text a tip line, 888-653-009. All right, charges have been dropped against a woman arrested during an Edgewood ISD board meeting earlier this week. This video you're seeing on your screen, it went viral. That Bexar County District Attorney's Office made that decision yesterday. So this video here, you see Maribel Gardia being escorted out after going over her time limit during public comment Tuesday night. She was charged with criminal trespass, resisting arrest, and interrupting a meeting or procession, and that's why she was arrested. But she was released from jail on Wednesday evening, and now those charges have been dropped. Don't forget, from now until August 27th, the city is holding budget town halls where you can learn about the plan and ask questions regarding a budget gap. And today there's one being held at the Youth Town Hall at the Central Library downtown, starting at 10:30 this morning, just in an hour. The city will vote on the budget on September 18th.
Do specialize with the, French pastries, okay? So this is actually for Wemby.
All right, that's Hemisphere local business owners, and they are eagerly awaiting a new Spurs arena, but it's not a done deal. Some of the public funding will get a public vote in November. So we've been asking since last night what you think about using public funds that are part of bond money for a new Spurs arena. And here are those results. You can see it on your screen. Looks like most of you think no, public funds should not be used for the new Spurs arena at 54%. 46% say yes. You can scan that QR code to put in your opinion, and it'll go straight to this poll. It's been changing throughout the morning, but around this 46%, it's been hovering for a while. This week on Pickup Lines, our Ernie Zuniga sat down with San Antonio Spurs Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel, that's Bobby Pettis. He's been front and center for the team during all this Project Marvel related talk. Pettis grew up wanting to be a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, go Cowboys, but then ended up working in the NBA instead. Go Spurs, go! The Jefferson grad has been in the news a lot lately with all the talk about Project Marvel and has led the negotiations on behalf of the Spurs with the city and the county. He actually once served as council member himself in the late 1990s.
I was probably 6 years old, and we were all, as kids, we would work on my uncle's campaign. If we were not handing out little place cards, we were, standing in front of polls and putting up signs. And so that was just kind of the family sport, was politics. I had an uncle that sat on the city council in the 70s. One of my tias was a SAISD school board member, maybe in the 80s or the 90s, and there was just some point in time where I thought maybe I'll give it a shot, and I ran for city council in the 90s.
So in this episode, Bobby also talks about why he chose to walk away from city council and not pursue a higher office. The latest episode of Pickup Lines is on KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it now on KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines. A San Antonio ISD graduate is heading to Harvard this fall, and he's crediting a San Antonio college program for his academic growth. It's called Upward Bound Math and Science, a program geared towards high school students interested in going to college and majoring in STEM. So Periel Munoz was a part of that program since he was a freshman at Highlands High School, where he got some guidance from older students.
Yeah, so the college process can be a scary thing to someone who has no help navigating it. And hearing from my peers what they're doing and how they're writing their essays and where they're applying.
To learn more about the Upward Bound program and how it helped Periel start visualizing his journey to Harvard, head to KSAT.com. We wish him the very best. Okay, this morning, mental health resources across the San Antonio area are coming together for Pathways for Hope. It's a conference focused on helping young people in town with their mental health. Devin Karp is live at the Tobin Center. Devin, what's happening out there? Lots of people.
Well, lots of people here. They're actually getting ready to have one of their speaker panels with a bunch of young teenagers talking about their own mental health here. So in the meantime, I'm going to watch this. You ready for this, guys? If you spin the camera around, you'll see just some of the resources that are here available over at Pathways to Hope. This is a conference that has been around here in San Antonio for 10 years, bringing together all the different resources, nonprofits, places that can help people with their mental health here in San Antonio. A lot of them completely for free, too. There's a long list of resources that are going to be here, and they're here to stay. They say they want to break the stigma around talking about mental health and say that you don't have to be in a point of crisis in order to start talking about this and live your best life with it. So if you show up here, it's going to be going on until 3 p.m. today. There are plenty of these little fidget toys, like this little fidget spinner that you can see right here that I'm playing with here. There's a lot of other different resources. You can walk up, talk to people, just like the booth behind me over here at the Texas Child Health Access through telemedicine. Great stuff going on over here. We're going to have a full story coming up later on tonight at KSAT.com about how you can take advantage of these resources well after the Pathways to Hope conference closes. For now, I'm going to go see a little bit more of what I can find and send it back to you guys over there in the studio. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Devin. It's 9:39, 80 degrees. The hill country floods hit hard, but nature fighting back. We'll show you how wildlife along the Guadalupe River is making a comeback. Have you heard of the Bexar County Dispute Resolution Center? It's been helping families and neighbors settle disputes for over 40 years, and it's all for free. We'll tell you how it works.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am ready for this weekend. We are going to have a hot day. But looking ahead to the future, some places in Texas are going to struggle to get out of the 60s this week in August. Those details coming up.
A dispute with your neighbor or landlord or dealing with divorce doesn't mean you always have to call an attorney. Mediation is another option, and the Bexar County Center has provided the service for free for over 40 years. Courtney Friedman found out a lot of people didn't know it existed, so she paid the office a visit to find out how it's helping families, businesses, and the court system.
Have you heard of the Dispute Resolution Center?
No. And community member Cynthia Rubio isn't the only one. She was pleasantly surprised to find out the Bexar County Dispute Resolution Center has been offering free mediation for over 40 years.
If I had to describe mediation in one word, that word would be negotiation. And I'll contrast that when you go to court. There is no negotiation.
Why is it important that people can reach an agreement before they move on to the court system?
There's no charge for the service. You have absolutely nothing to lose.
Center Director Al Cortez is one of 9 paid employees, but there are up to 90 volunteer mediators that help about 6,000 clients a year.
The mediation used to happen all in person, but right now it's pretty much all virtual.
We get a lot of cases referred to us by the courts. There's a local rule that if you request a jury trial, you have to come to mediation.
Those are called the litigation disputes, and 90% of them are family disputes like divorce and child custody or visitation. The other type is called a community dispute, the most common being neighbor or landlord-tenant issues, as well as consumer disputes. And if they can't help, they refer clients to another agency. Something Rubio plans to keep in mind.
A lot of people can't afford attorneys, or they don't want to make a bigger deal out of the issue, so I think it's a good deal.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
All right, just as humans have joined together to recover after this catastrophic hill country flood, so has nature. Texas has the second highest biodiversity in America, and some of that along the Guadalupe River was wiped out or displaced during the July 4th floods. Our Courtney Friedman got to walk along the river with the conservationists who talked about what the flood did to the wildlife, but also pointed out all the animals that have already started returning to their homes.
I think we're about 5 weeks out from July 4th, and nature's already starting to take back its place.
Immense relief for Azalea Rodriguez with the conservation group Defenders of Wildlife. She represents the 18 counties that make up the hill country.
So you will see some deers, owls, opossums. You can even see armadillos out here. Lots of bird species, a lot of endangered species like the golden cheek warbler, the Guadalupe darter, sunfish, bluegill, carp.
What was it like for you when you saw what happened to this river and these habitats?
Oh gosh, it was heartbreaking.
But the eerie quiet that lingered after the deadly floods, now filling back up with the songs of nature.
There's a red-shouldered hawk that flew into the tree. So this is a feather. It's probably either like a black vulture, something that's more of a raptor bird. I'm already seeing deer droppings. You see these fish species right here. Yeah. And with fish, bring birds, bring insects.
Inside these waters is where Rodriguez focuses on a very important endangered species.
It's called a Guadalupe fat mucket. It's one of those symbiotic relationships. It's not just a mussel species, but it also interacts with fish. So one adult mussel can filter 8 to 15 gallons of water in just a single day, and so we need that. We need that clear water quality, that good filtration system.
Are there any left in here, you think?
There might be, but right now it's hard to say. There haven't been any surveys done just because search and rescue is right now is the priority.
State agencies are already preparing in case the mussels were wiped out to reintroduce them once the toxins in the water clear out.
Originally, everything was gone, and now you're starting to see a little bit of life again.
Center Point flood survivor Angela Simons is starting to see her beloved river look healthier.
What does that make you feel?
I hope that it'll get better.
Rodriguez shares that hope.
Nature will always find a way to take itself back and heal itself.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Nature finds a way, always does.
They say mussels and oysters are nature's natural purification systems for water. I love it. It's so fascinating.
Oh my goodness. I know, and this is side note, but I got to nerd out a bit. I know that in Hudson Bay in New York, they recently started to reintroduce, oysters there, and the water is really cleared up.
Yeah, we have, there's oyster farming is becoming a big thing in the Gulf as well.
Cool.
It's very cool. Look it up.
Very cool. Although if I'm eating oysters, I prefer the Northeast.
You love oysters.
I like the New England oysters. I do. They're good.
Good.
Oh my goodness, Sarah, we have oyster bake here in the during Fiesta. No,
and I'm glad people support the cause.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look out there with the authority radar, and you can see that we do have some continuing rain out near Eagle Pass and Del Rio, although the rain is starting to exit out of here. And really over the last several days, the rainfall has been very scattered. I want to show you rainfall in the last 5 days. Notice that parts of the hill country got some very good rain, including areas in Medina County that are experiencing extreme and exceptional drought. It's been a little bit of a disappointment around San Antonio. You can see in this area here, there really hasn't been too much rain from areas out along downtown San Antonio, pretty much east of I-10 and 281 there. Bit of a disappointment in the rainfall for New Braunfels, Garden Ridge, Schertz, Selma, Lavernia. And today our rain chance is very small. It's only a 20% chance for us to see a couple of downpours between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. But my hope is that it falls on the areas that really missed out on the rain the last few days. Again, today and tomorrow, equal chances, 20% 20% right around the same time, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Otherwise, it's going to be hot. We're going to be near 87 around noon, and it's around noon that you'll start to notice some of those puffy cumulus clouds that grow tall in the vertical. It's those cumulus clouds that have a 20% chance of producing one of those downpours. Otherwise, high temperature of 96. We're going to have east-northeast winds, fairly light, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then with the sunset, our rain chance goes away for the day. It'll be around 90 degrees close to sunset. Take a look at highs. 91 in Kerrville, 96 in New Braunfels, Pleasanton. You'll be at 96. Del Rio and Eagle Pass, cooler than San Antonio. Doesn't happen all that much, but when it does, it's usually because of things like rain that they're seeing out there right now. So clouds will be a bit more stubborn toward the border. Let's look across the nation because we've got a cool front that's moving through the northern part of the United States, and this low pressure system is pulling some cold Canadian air, and it's going to pull it south and a little bit farther south than is usual for this time of year. In fact, we're going to see that move into North Texas by Tuesday, and highs in North Texas are only going to be in the 70s. In Dallas-Fort Worth, 78 degrees. It's only going to be in the 60s in the Panhandle, Lubbock, Amarillo in the 60s. Here in San Antonio, I hate to disappoint you, but we're going to still be hot because this front is just not going to have enough oomph to make it through to the Alamo City. But just because we're hot doesn't mean we're not going to see effects from this front. And one of those effects is the potential for some rain. So as we look ahead to Tuesday night, that's the highest chance for rainfall. Then that front will wash out and we'll be looking at some lingering outflow boundaries that could produce 1 or 2 showers and storms through early Thursday. That's rain chances. But then the next big thing we need to talk about, we have to look way into the future for this. We're talking early September, September 3rd through 9th. There is a good chance for some development in the Caribbean or in the Gulf of a tropical system. I know it says 20%, but when we can look out way into the future, like September 3rd through 9th, and say a greater than 20% chance, that's a pretty decent chance. And that is possible, again, early September. If we see anything go into the Gulf, there's always a possibility it could impact the Texas coast. So we will keep you posted on that way into the future, September 3rd through September 9th. But in the immediate future, we are going to be looking at highs right near 100 and then a slightly higher rain chance Tuesday night and Wednesday. That'll allow for our temperatures to dip down into the low 90s. Could we be done, Sarah, with the triple digits for the year?
Please.
It's possible. We could. It is also possible that we could have a hot week in September and end up hitting 100 degrees. But I wouldn't be surprised if we were done with our triple digits.
I mean, we have had a cooler summer. I mean,
especially compared to the last few years.
Those were like horrible.
Brutal summers.
Triple digits, what, 50 days in a row, 45?
There was 75 100-degree days in 2023.
That was, I will never forget that.
Neither will I.
Thank you, Sarah. 9:52, 80 degrees. Take a look outside of the roads. People out, up and about. Lots of actual cars on the road this Saturday morning, but we're not seeing any huge backups like we have during the week. But if we do, we will let you know about them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. No, this is right up my alley. Your zodiac sign can help you find love or pick the right time for you to pick a new job, but now it can also help you decide what to stream. Okay, Netflix just launched a new astrology hub called Your Zodiac Watch List. They started offering shows and movies recommended based on your zodiac sign. So each collection matches the vibe of that sign. For example, if you're an Aquarius, real airy sign, Netflix says you should binge watch Stranger Things, Resident Alien, and Venom, or Venom: The Last Dance. I'll have to look into that, see how accurate that is.
We need to look up what ours are.
You're a Libra.
During the break.
You're a Libra, right? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm an Aries, so.
So is my husband.
Yeah, my husband's an Aries too. Lots of fire.
Wow.
Lots of fire. All right, we're going to be right back for the final weather.
Okay, I'm a Libra.
Yes.
So my Netflix thing says Ozark and Peaky Blinders, which I like those shows. Peaky Blinders. What about Aries?
I don't know. It said like Squid Games and WWE. No, absolutely not. Completely wrong. But I think you're more of a Virgo.